It's confirmed. They understand. A chosen soul production. The moment everyone finally gets it. Chosen soul. Something shifted. You felt it. That moment when the energy in the room changed. When the tone in their voice altered. When the look in their eyes transformed. From dismissal to recognition. From doubt to knowing. From resistance to respect. They finally understand. Not everything. Not completely. But enough. Enough to stop questioning. Enough to start listening. Enough to actually see you. Really see you. For the first time. And it's confirmed. The understanding is real. The shift is genuine. The transformation is complete. This wasn't sudden for you. You've been preparing for this moment for years. Building, growing, developing, becoming, while they watched with skepticism, with doubt, with judgment, waiting for you to fail, expecting you to quit, anticipating your collapse. But you didn't fail, didn't quit, didn't collapse. You kept going, kept building, kept becoming. And now the evidence is undeniable. The results are visible. The transformation is obvious, even to those who didn't want to see it, who refused to acknowledge it, who actively resisted recognizing it. They can't deny anymore, can't dismiss anymore, can't pretend anymore. It's confirmed. You were right all along. Your family understands now. The ones who worried, who cautioned, who warned you to be realistic, to stay practical, to choose security. They're not warning anymore, not cautioning, not worrying, because results speak louder than their fears ever did, because success answers questions their doubt kept asking. Because your thriving silence is there, concerns more effectively than any explanation could have. They're watching you now with different eyes, seeing you with new perspective, understanding you with expanded awareness. The confirmation came through your living, not through your explaining, through your demonstrating, not through your defending. Your friends understand now, the ones who thought you were going through phase, who believed you'd eventually come back to normal, who expected you to return to old version. They realize now, this isn't phase, this is transformation. This isn't temporary, this is permanent. This isn't deviation, this is evolution. You're not coming back to who you were. Because who you were doesn't exist anymore. Died, transformed, transcended. What emerged is who you actually are. Who you've always been underneath conditioning, underneath expectations, underneath limitations others projected onto you. They understand now. This is real. You. This is permanent state. This is actual identity. Your colleagues understand now. The ones who thought you were delusional, who believed your vision was unrealistic, who considered your goals impossible. They're seeing the vision manifest, watching the unrealistic become real, witnessing the impossible become achieved, and their understanding is shifting from seeing you as dreamer to recognizing you as visionary, from viewing you as impractical to acknowledging you as innovative, from considering you as naive to respecting you as pioneering. The confirmation came through results, through outcomes, through manifestation, not through convincing them. through showing them, not through arguing your case, through building your reality. Your mentors understand now, even the ones who taught you, who trained you, who guided you early on. They're recognizing you've transcended. Their teaching exceeded their training, surpassed their guidance. This isn't disrespect. This is evolution. This isn't rejection. This is graduation. This isn't abandonment. This is advancement. The best teachers want students to exceed them. The real mentors celebrate being surpassed. The true guides honor when teaching is transcended. And yours are understanding now. You haven't abandoned their wisdom. You've built upon it. Haven't rejected their knowledge. You've expanded beyond it. Haven't dismissed their guidance. You've evolved past it. They understand, and they're proud. Your critics understand now, the ones who said it wouldn't work, who predicted you'd fail, who waited to say I told you so. They're silent now, not because they're being gracious, because they have nothing to say. The evidence contradicts their predictions, the results invalidate their judgments, the success disproves their doubts. Some are adjusting perspective, admitting they were wrong, acknowledging they misjudged. Others are just quiet, recalibrating worldview, processing cognitive dissonance between what they believed and what actually happened. Either way, they understand now. You weren't crazy, weren't naive, weren't delusional. You were seeing something they couldn't see, building something they couldn't imagine, becoming someone they couldn't conceive. The universe understands too. You're feeling it. Synchronicities multiplying, doors opening, resources appearing, opportunities manifesting. Not because universe suddenly decided to support you. Because you reached frequency where universal support becomes obvious. Reached alignment where cosmic assistance becomes visible. Reached consciousness where divine orchestration becomes apparent. It was always there, always supporting, always assisting, always orchestrating. You just couldn't see it, couldn't feel it, couldn't recognize it. From lower frequency, from misalignment, from unconsciousness, now you can. And it's confirming what you've sensed, what you've known, what you've trusted. Universe has your back, always has, always will. Your body understands now. The exhaustion you felt during transformation, the pain you experienced during growth, the discomfort you endured during expansion. Your body gets it now. Wasn't breaking down, was breaking through, wasn't weakening, was strengthening, wasn't deteriorating, was upgrading. All those symptoms you worried about, all those sensations you questioned, all those experiences you doubted, were transformation, were activation, were evolution. Your body was recalibrating, adjusting, adapting to higher frequency, to expanded consciousness, to evolved being. And now it's complete. Integration is done. Body understands its new normal, functions at new baseline, operates from new capacity. Your mind understands now too. The confusion that plagued you, the doubt that haunted you, the uncertainty that tormented you, was mind trying to comprehend what it couldn't yet grasp. trying to understand what required experiencing, trying to know what demanded becoming. Mind operates through logic, through analysis, through comparison, but transformation transcends logic. Evolution exceeds analysis. Awakening surpasses comparison. Mind couldn't understand until you went through it, until you completed it, until you became it. Now mind understands. Not through thinking, through being, not through analyzing, through experiencing, not through comparing, through becoming. Your heart understands most completely, has understood longest. Heart knew before mind comprehended, before body adapted, before people recognized. Heart has been certain while everything else doubted, has been clear while everything else confused, has been confident while everything else questioned. Heart's understanding is different kind, not intellectual, emotional, not logical, intuitive, not analytical. Knowing, heart doesn't need proof, doesn't require evidence, doesn't demand confirmation. Heart just knows. And heart knew you were on right path, making right choices, becoming right version of yourself, even when everything else questioned it. The confirmation came in waves. First small recognitions, someone noticing change, someone acknowledging growth, someone commenting on transformation, then bigger validations, opportunities appearing, doors opening, resources flowing, then undeniable proof, results manifesting, success arriving, dreams actualizing, each wave building on previous, each confirmation strengthening next, each recognition making subsequent ones easier to receive, until confirmation became constant, until understanding became consistent, until recognition became normal, not exceptional anymore, just reality, your new reality, where you're seen, known, understood, as who you actually are. They understand your sacrifice now, what you gave up to get here, what you released to become this, what you let go to access this level, the relationships you outgrew, the beliefs you transcended, the identities you shed, the comfort you surrendered, the security you risked, the approval you released. They thought you were crazy for letting go, foolish for giving up, reckless for releasing. Now they understand. Wasn't sacrifice, was exchange, wasn't loss, was gain, wasn't giving up, was leveling up. You released what was limiting to access what's limitless. Let go what was small to grasp what's large. Surrendered what was finite to receive what's infinite. They understand your isolation now, why you withdrew, why you got quiet, why you disappeared for season. They thought you were depressed, thought you were struggling, thought you were avoiding. They didn't understand. You were transforming, processing, integrating. That transformation requires isolation. That evolution demands solitude. That metamorphosis needs cocoon. You weren't hiding from world. You were becoming for world. Weren't avoiding people. Were preparing to serve people better. Weren't running from life. Were getting ready to live life fuller. They understand now. The isolation was incubation. The withdrawal was preparation. The silence was necessary for sound that's emerging now. They understand your intensity now, why you're so focused, why you're so committed, why you're so driven. They thought it was obsession, thought it was imbalance, thought it was unhealthy. They didn't understand its purpose, its calling, its mission. That purpose requires focus. That calling demands commitment. That mission needs drive. You're not obsessed. You're aligned, not imbalanced, integrated, not unhealthy, whole. And that wholeness, that integration, that alignment creates intensity that looks extreme to those operating at normal levels. But you're not normal anymore. You're activated, and activation is intense. Necessarily, appropriately, powerfully. They understand your boundaries now, why you said no, why you pulled back, why you created distance. They thought you were being difficult, thought you were being selfish, thought you were being cold. They didn't understand you were being protective of energy, of time, of capacity. That you can't pour from empty, can't give from depleted, can't serve from exhausted. Your boundaries weren't rejection, were preservation, weren't selfishness, were self-care, weren't coldness, were wisdom. And now they understand. Your boundaries allowed you to maintain capacity, to sustain energy, to preserve strength. That's serving them now, benefiting them now, supporting them now. Through overflow you protected. They understand your vision now, the future you described, the reality you imagined, the world you envisioned. They thought it was fantasy, thought it was delusion, thought it was impossible. They're seeing it manifest now, watching it become real, witnessing it actualize, piece by piece, step by step, element by element. Your vision wasn't fantasy, was foresight, wasn't delusion, was download, wasn't impossible, was inevitable. You were seeing future before it arrived, perceiving reality before it manifested, knowing outcome before process completed. Vision is always ahead of manifestation, always precedes reality, always foresees outcome. You had vision, now they have evidence, and evidence confirms vision was accurate. They understand your faith now, why you kept believing, why you stayed committed, why you remained certain, despite lack of evidence, despite absence of proof, despite presence of obstacles. They thought faith was foolishness, thought belief was naivety, thought certainty was arrogance. They're realizing now. Faith was wisdom, belief was knowing, certainty was connection to truth that transcends circumstances. You weren't being foolish, were being faithful, weren't being naive, were being knowing, weren't being arrogant, were being aligned with something larger than current reality, something deeper than present circumstances, something truer than visible evidence. And that alignment produced results that prove faith was justified. They understand your process now, why it took time, why it required patience, why it demanded persistence. They wanted quick results, instant transformation, immediate success. They didn't understand that real change takes time. That genuine transformation requires process. That lasting success demands development. You couldn't rush it, couldn't skip steps, couldn't shortcut journey. Each phase was necessary. Each stage was essential. Each level was required for integration that's now complete, for stability that's now solid, for foundation that's now unshakable. Quick fixes create quick failures. Instant transformation creates unstable results. Rushed success creates fragile foundation. Your process was slow, and that slowness created strength, demanded patience, and that patience created stability, required persistence, and that persistence created sustainability. They understand your truth now, what you've been trying to tell them, what you've been attempting to show them, what you've been working to demonstrate. They couldn't hear it before, couldn't see it before, couldn't receive it before, because truth requires readiness, requires openness, requires capacity to receive, to understand, to integrate. They weren't ready before, weren't open before, didn't have capacity before. Now they do, because your transformation prepared them, your success opened them, your results created capacity in them to receive truth they couldn't handle before, to understand reality they couldn't process before, to integrate knowing they couldn't hold before. Your becoming created their readiness. Your evolution generated their openness. Your transformation developed their capacity. The confirmation isn't complete yet. Not everyone understands. Not everything is recognized. Not all truth is acknowledged. But enough understands. Enough is recognized. Enough is acknowledged for momentum to shift, for trajectory to solidify, for reality to stabilize at new level, new frequency, new baseline, where understanding is normal, where recognition is consistent, where acknowledgement is standard. You're not trying to convince anyone anymore, not defending yourself, not explaining yourself, not justifying yourself. Results speak, success demonstrates, being proves, more effectively than words ever could, more powerfully than arguments ever would, more completely than explanations ever did. So chosen soul, it's confirmed, they understand, not perfectly, not completely, not fully, but enough, enough to stop fighting, enough to start supporting, enough to finally see you, really see you, for who you actually are, what you've actually become, where you're actually going, the confirmation you've been waiting for, the recognition you've been seeking, the understanding you've been wanting. It's here, it's real, it's yours, not because you convinced anyone, because you became someone, not because you argued effectively, because you demonstrated powerfully, not because you explained well, because you embodied completely. The understanding came, not through your words, through your being, not through your defending, through your demonstrating, not through your convincing, through your becoming, and now it's confirmed. They understand, finally, truly, actually. Keep being, keep demonstrating, keep becoming, More understanding is coming. More recognition is arriving. More confirmation is manifesting. Because you're just getting started. This is beginning, not ending. First, confirmation, not final. Initial recognition, not complete. They understand now. They'll understand more later. They see now. They'll see fuller eventually. They recognize now. They'll recognize completely. Ultimately, it's confirmed. They understand. And understanding is growing, expanding, deepening. As you continue growing, expanding, deepening into fullness of who you're becoming. They understand your language now, the way you speak, the words you choose, the concepts you reference, used to sound like nonsense to them. Like jargon, like pretentious vocabulary, they'd dismiss it, mock it, question why you couldn't just speak normally. Now they're using same words, same concepts, same language, because they've grown into understanding, evolved into comprehension, expanded into capacity to grasp what you were expressing all along. Your language wasn't complicated. Their consciousness was limited. Your expression wasn't excessive. Their awareness was constrained. Your communication wasn't unclear. Their perception was undeveloped. Now perception has developed. Awareness has expanded. Consciousness has evolved. And suddenly your language makes perfect sense. They understand your priorities now. Why you chose what you chose. Why you valued what you valued. Why you invested where you invested. Time, energy, resources. In things that seemed pointless to them. Wasteful to their perspective. Foolish from their vantage. They're seeing the return. Now, the harvest from those investments. The fruit from those priorities, the results from those choices, and understanding is dawning. You weren't wasting time. You were investing wisely, weren't squandering resources, were allocating strategically, weren't being foolish, were being visionary, seeing value they couldn't see. Recognizing worth they couldn't perceive, knowing potential they couldn't imagine. Your priorities seemed wrong, because their perspective was limited, seemed misguided, because their vision was short, seemed foolish, because their understanding was shallow. Now, understanding has deepened, vision has lengthened, perspective has expanded. They understand your timing now. Why you moved when you moved. Why you waited when you waited. Why you acted when you acted. They wanted you to rush, to move faster, to act sooner. They thought you were procrastinating, thought you were scared, thought you were avoiding. They didn't understand you were calibrating, aligning, preparing, waiting for right moment, right alignment, right timing, not human timing, divine timing, not their schedule, soul schedule, not conventional timeline, cosmic timeline. And now they see the timing was perfect. The waiting was necessary. The patience was productive. Everything arrived exactly when it needed to, manifested precisely when it should, materialized perfectly when it must. Not a moment too early. Not a moment too late. Exactly right. They understand now. Divine timing is real, and you were operating from it. all along. They understand your choices now, the unconventional ones, the unexpected ones, the ones that made no sense to them, choosing less money for more meaning, trading security for sovereignty, exchanging comfort for growth. These choices baffled them, worried them, concerned them. They thought you were sabotaging yourself, thought you were being irresponsible, thought you were making mistakes. They're seeing now. Those choices were wisdom. That trade-off was strategic. Those decisions were aligned. You chose meaning and found abundance, chose sovereignty and discovered security, chose growth and accessed comfort, real comfort, not false comfort that requires staying small, real security, not fake security that demands staying stuck, real abundance, not counterfeit abundance that costs your soul. Your choices seemed risky because they were, but risk is how you access reward. Uncertainty is how you discover certainty. Letting go is how you receive more. They understand your solitude now, not just the isolation during transformation, but the ongoing need for alone time, for silence, for stillness, for space. They thought you were antisocial, thought you were depressed, thought something was wrong. They didn't understand you're an introvert who's been performing extroversion, an empath who's been absorbing everyone's energy, a sensitive who's been pretending to be thick-skinned. Your solitude isn't rejection, it's restoration. Your silence isn't avoidance, it's replenishment. Your stillness isn't stagnation, it's regeneration. You need alone time to process, to integrate, to recalibrate, to return to center, to reconnect with self, to remember who you are underneath everyone else's projections. They understand now. Your solitude makes you better company. Your silence makes your words more powerful. Your stillness makes your action more effective. They understand your sensitivity now. What they called being too sensitive, too emotional, too affected by things. They're realizing now. Your sensitivity is superpower, not weakness. Your emotional capacity is strength, not flaw. Your ability to feel deeply is gift, not curse. You feel what others can't feel, sense what others can't sense, perceive what others can't perceive. This makes you powerful, not fragile. Makes you capable, not incapable. Makes you advantaged, not disadvantaged. Your sensitivity lets you read energy, detect truth, recognize authenticity, navigate complexity. Your depth of feeling creates depth of understanding, depth of connection, depth of impact. They thought sensitivity was liability. They're understanding now. It's your greatest asset. They understand your standards now. Why you wouldn't settle. Why you wouldn't compromise. Why you wouldn't lower your bar. They thought you were being picky. Thought you were being difficult. Thought you were being unrealistic. They're seeing now. Your standards protected you. Your requirements served you. Your boundaries blessed you. By not settling, you created space for what truly fits. By not compromising, you maintained integrity. By not lowering bar, you attracted excellence. You didn't end up with less by demanding more. You ended up with more by refusing less. Your standards seemed high because most people's are low. Seemed rigid because most people's are flexible to point of collapse. Seemed unrealistic because most people's are realistic to point of mediocrity. Your standards were appropriate for who you're becoming, for what you're building, for where you're going. They understand your rest now. Why you prioritize sleep. Why you honor your body. Why you respect your limits. They thought you were being lazy. Thought you were being self-indulgent. Thought you were being weak. They're realizing now. Rest is productive. Sleep is strategic. Honoring body is wise. You can't perform at peak on empty. Can't create at highest level while depleted. Can't serve at full capacity while exhausted. Your rest recharges you. Your sleep restores you. Your body honoring sustains you. So you can show up powerfully. Serve effectively. Create excellently. They mistook rest for laziness because they're addicted to busy. Mistook self-care for self-indulgence because they're martyrs to productivity. Mistook honoring limits for weakness because they're ignoring their own. Your rest is strength. Your self-care is wisdom. Your limit honoring is power. They understand your investment in yourself now. The money you spent on education, on development, on growth. The time you dedicated to learning, to healing, to evolving. The energy you devoted to becoming, to transforming, to actualizing. They thought it was selfish. Thought it was wasteful. Thought it was excessive. They're seeing the return now, the dividends from that investment. The yield from that dedication. The profit from that devotion. You invested in yourself and everyone around you benefits. You developed yourself and entire sphere of influence improves. You grew yourself and whole network elevates. Your self-investment wasn't selfish. Was strategic. Your personal development wasn't wasteful. Was wise. Your growth wasn't excessive. Was essential. They understand now. Best investment is always self-investment. Best development is always personal development. Best growth is always your own growth. They understand your pain now. Not just that you experienced it, but that you transformed through it, used it, alchemized it into wisdom, into strength, into compassion. They thought pain would break you, thought suffering would defeat you, thought difficulty would destroy you. They're witnessing now. Pain made you stronger. Suffering made you wiser. Difficulty made you more capable. You didn't just survive. You transformed. Didn't just endure. You evolved. Didn't just get through. You grew through. Your pain wasn't wasted. Was leveraged. Your suffering wasn't meaningless. Was meaningful. Your difficulty wasn't random. Was purposeful. Creating capacity you needed. Developing strength you required. Building resilience you must have. 4 levels ahead. 4 challenges coming. 4 mission unfolding. So chosen soul, it's confirmed. In multiple ways. From multiple sources. Across multiple dimensions. They understand. Your family understands. Your friends understand. Your colleagues understand. Your critics understand. Your body understands. Your mind understands. Your heart has always understood. Universe confirms through synchronicity. Life validates through results. Reality proves through manifestation. The understanding is spreading. The recognition is growing. The acknowledgement is expanding. And this is just beginning. Just first wave. Just initial confirmation. More understanding is coming. Deeper recognition is arriving. Fuller acknowledgement is manifesting. As you continue becoming. As you keep growing. As you persist evolving. Into fullness of your potential. Into completion of your purpose. Into actualization of your calling. They understand now. They'll understand more tomorrow. They see now. They'll see clearer next week. They recognize now. They'll recognize deeper next month. It's confirmed. Understanding is here. And it's growing. Keep being who you're being. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep becoming who you're becoming. More confirmation coming. More recognition arriving. More understanding manifesting. Because you've earned it. Demonstrated it. Become it. And becoming continues. Understanding deepens. Confirmation expands. Welcome to being seen. Being known. Being understood. Finally. Truly. Completely.